Hi everyone! So my friend Chantel wanted me to do a review of Deadpool 2, which sadly, as I'm trying more for a theme of anime movie reviews, so I don't get a million different types of films and then crazy suggestions that have nothing to do with each other, and then having to look up dozens of different kinds of movies every week as opposed to more, let's say, selective idea, and I want this to be a primarily animation view, with the exception of hints and highlights. But I was lucky enough to find some Deadpool animations. One of them is Hulk vs. Wolverine, and I don't know a lot about Marvel, so bear with me on this, please. I know some about Wolverine from most of the X-Men movies, so I get the idea. Him. Claws, healing factor, and Deadpool has this same, and in Hulk vs. Wolverine, he's working with Team X to try to create the Hulk and Wolverine into weapons, and he's sort of a comedic evil member of the team. More villainous than in other versions, like he's willing to shoot babies apparently. We don't see it, thankfully. But even mentioning it as opposed to how I've heard in the original that he never harms kids. But he has a sorts of comedy like drumming and beating same by never shutting up. People are always trying to whip his mouth out. He makes puns at the dumbest times, like when he loses an arm, he asks somebody to give him a hand, or just says how it isn't cool. So he leads to a great amount of comedy there. And it's really hard to talk about this because, again, I don't know much about him. But it's clear he's doing whatever he wants and he's having a blast with it. And he's just enjoyable with how he's always enjoying everything. Saying how he shoot Wolverine in the word I'm not going to say because I want this to be a family-friendly channel for the most part. When I'm not talking about the depressing bits of Grave of the Fireflies or violence of Death Note, that is. But I digress. Back to Deadpool. Yeah, again, here I'm not sure how faithful it is to the original, but I know he's more of an anti-hero than a villain, and luckily for the second half of this video, we're going to be going into another animation that shows more of that side. In an episode of the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon show called Ultimate Deadpool, Spider-Man and Deadpool meet up to get a book with information on the superheroes back from the Taskmaster, and no points for guessing who Taskmaster stole it from in the first place. Yeah. It comes up pretty obviously towards the end. And anybody that knows the character won't be surprised at all. But here he's driving Spider-Man insane by getting in his head, making jokes like how he has a deodorant that's strong enough for man but specific for a spider, and a bunch of puns for insult. You should be named Elevator Operator because you bring me down. And he's just so crazy. He says how can be done for good or bad depending on how much he's paid. We get a bunch of insane backstories that even I know aren't canon. And just, he's completely nuts, but that's what makes this fun. I don't know how much I would watch of this show, honestly, but this episode was legitimately funny in a lot of parts. How he's so nonchalant about everything. And even when Spider-Man hurts his feelings, he jokes about how he's going to go home and cry in his bed name made of money. So yeah, Deadpool was a fun character for animation with his fourth wall breaks and his constant talking and jokes. He almost feels like he was suited for animation completely. I can't say again how he works for comics or live action, but here he really works, and I can definitely see the appeal of his character. Again, I'm not going to know as much about it because I'm not as into Marvel as some people are. But if somebody asked me to watch a Deadpool movie after this, I would probably take them up on the offer. So, I wanted to thank Chantal again for making this suggestion, and as always, if you have an animated movie you want me to review, leave it in the comments. Until then, see you later.